Hey guys, what's happening? It's Friday once again. Made it through another week. I am smoking that. But you all know what that is. If you don't, it's a Dagner Poker Cob. Get you one. I'm still working through this tin of Sophisticate. It's the one I tried to do the little mini review of last week. Funny thing, when I opened this tin up today, I had mentioned that I read some reviews where people talked about taste of almonds. When I opened that tin up, I smelled the typical McClellan aroma. And just the tiniest little moment of almonds. I sniffed and sniffed to try to get that that scent again, and I never could, but it was in there. I haven't tasted it, but smelled it. Anyway, further. Like I said, it's Friday. It's time for Top 5 Friday. Got a little show and tell to go along with this one. Yesterday was, for people that participate in that sort of thing, was Throwback Thursday. And since this is Friday and I'm doing a VR on, I'm not a VR, I'm doing a video. Subject's going to be some baseball stuff. I went and found I didn't go and find it, I knew exactly where it was. My little Mattel Electronics baseball game, remember these? Remember those? It's amazing that's still on there after 30 odd years. Probably pushing 40 years. This thing still works. I don't have a battery in it. It still works. If you can remember what the buttons are, I've worn the letters off of them. But I love these little games. I had this. I had basketball. I had football. Racing. Those were the best games, man. Well, I still have that one and the basketball one, and they both still work. Still have a Game Boy too that works. I hope that glare's not too reprehensible. I'm going to pause this. Having shifted the camera, I will continue. Guys over at Hey We're Talking did a couple of videos last couple of weeks. One of them was on baseball, one of them was on baseball movies and stuff like that, and it started me thinking about some old memories of baseball. I'm also kind of a statistics junkie. And I was reminded of some old, odd baseball statistics that I had known forever and possibly forgot about and remembered again and forgot about and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, these are going to be 5 baseball stats that are kind of weird. First one, some people doubt the veracity of it. Other people claim it's absolutely true. People that knew the man and he himself. There's a pitcher named Doc Ellis had a bit of a problem with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. It eventually put him out of the game and probably killed him, but he became clean and counseled people and stuff like that later on. But one game in the, I think it was in the late 70s or early 80s, I don't remember it, this one. He supposedly had taken some LSD forgot he was supposed to pitch that day till someone reminded him. He got to the park like an hour before the game started. Still rather heavily affected by the dosage of LSD that he had taken. Went out on the mound and pitched a no-hitter. He says that the only thing he could see, or that he remembers, was the catcher's glove. Doesn't remember seeing any batters or anybody else. Said the ball sometimes felt like it was a marble, sometimes it felt like it was a basketball. Too weird to be true? I don't know. There are several people that knew him well that said it was absolutely true. And several people, mostly reporters, that doubted that it could be true. So, there it is. I've always believed it. Number 2 on this list, there was a pitcher. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Tom Glavine for the Atlanta Braves. Threw a whole bunch of strikeouts. I think he's got over 3,000. His 1,000th strikeout was against a pitcher from the Pittsburgh Pirates named Doug Drabek. Struck out Doug Drabek for his 1,000th strikeout. Doug Drabek had a bunch of strikeouts as well. He struck out Tom Glavine for his 1,000th strikeout. I like that one. Gaylord Perry. This is another one where you have to dig deep to find the truth about things. So I had heard this before, but when I was researching for this, I'd always heard it claimed that Gaylord Perry told somebody asked him, because he was a crappy hitter. He had a lifetime batting average of like 130 or something like that. Played on, I think, 9 different teams. 7 or 9. I believe it was 9. He's also a Hall of Famer. But anyway, somebody asked him if he would ever hit a home run, and he supposedly replied, this was in 1963, they'll put a man on the moon before I ever hit a home run. Well, it turns out it was his manager that said that, not him. A little handlebar action going there. Somebody asked about Gaylord Perry, and his manager said they'll put a man on the moon before he ever hits a home run. Well, yesterday was July 20th. '48th anniversary, I think, of when they put a man on the moon. That occurred about 2 p.m. Pacific time on July 20th, 1969. About 2:30 that day, Claude Osteen, pitcher for the LA Dodgers, gave up Gaylord Perry's first career home run. And the story went on to say that it was his first and only home run, but he actually hit 5 more over the course of his career. Still, that's a pretty cool thing. Who else we got on here? Warren Spahn, one of my favorite players of all time. Hall of Famer. Great pitcher. He had 363 wins in his career. He was a decent batter. He batted like 220 or something like that. He ended his career with 363 wins as a pitcher and 363 hits as a batter. Weird how some of this stuff happens. July 17th, 1990, Minnesota Twins were playing Red Sox. They lost that day 1-0, but they did something that's never been done before or since. They turned 2 triple plays. Triple play is one of the most rare things that happens in baseball. They turned 2 of them. The same 3 players. It was a 5-4-3 triple play. It was Gary Gaetti, Al Newman, and Kent Herbeck. That was pretty cool. And this other one is another one of those. These things happened, but they didn't happen quite the way that the stories about them were written. These were supposed to be firsts in baseball. You know, the first time that this happened. One of them was a player, Toby Harrah. I think he played for Texas. Pretty sure he played for Texas. Anyway, he played in a doubleheader. This was in 1976. I don't remember the date. He played shortstop. 18 innings, 54 outs. He never touched the ball. Nobody ever hit anything toward him, the shortstop. And that's the only time that that's ever happened, supposedly. Which, shortstop's usually pretty active. Then the story was trying to be more, I don't know, creative, I guess. They claimed he did another first the next year. That turns out to be false. It's been done 4 times. Once before and twice since. But him and another player, Bump Wills, hit back-to-back home runs. Yeah, back-to-back home runs. That's been done a bunch of times. Countless, probably. Theirs were inside the park home runs. Now that would have been a pretty amazing thing if he actually had turned out to be the first one to do both of those, but like I said, they had their facts wrong. So there you have my top 5 Friday. That was 6th one, wasn't factually accurate, so I threw it in as a bonus. If you're into baseball statistics and stuff like that, there's a website out there called baseballreference.com. It has, you have to dig around and know what you're looking for, but it has anything you want to know. Anything. Anything since stats have been being kept, anyway. So, I'm going to take off. I'm going to come back in a few minutes and do a yabo. So you might see that as well. Take her easy.